All right. Hey, YouTube. We're going to come back at you with a live lunch. This should have been a video, but my audio came out lousy. So we're going to try to do this live in here and during the lunchtime and get this out. But I saw a couple recent good videos by ACAS over there at Fourth Dimension, and Backcountry Preps did one complimentary to that. He did a couple actually, back to back. But ACAS talking about how the GOP is Republicans are not winning, which was pretty obvious, and etc. And Backcountry did one on that they're at war with us, and that was pretty good too. And he did part 2 to that. And he just did one this morning. I haven't seen his one this morning, but he's probably going on in the same tangent, I suspect. But along with that, I think this is evidence that people should take heed of. People are finally giving up, I guess you would say, getting off the collapse, or getting off of the there's a possibility we could save this train from falling off the tracks. This election might pull a lot more people towards the collapsitarian mindset, for lack of a better word, but it fits. Either you believe this thing is going to fall apart, or you believe it's savable. What evidence is out there to make you believe that this is a recoverable situation, that we can restore the republic, that there is a restoration possible? I would say there's not. And I've mentioned it and kind of outlined that in many different videos, but I can give you social, economic, political, and others, I guess. Those three are the big three off the top of the head. Those big three of where you're not turning that back. Those things are going to collapse, and there is no reversing course on those things. So if that's the case, then what does that mean for the future, I guess, would be the next line of thought, line of thinking. What do we need to think about? What do we need to plan for? And it goes back to, I think our best example is 1984, Brave New World. What was another one? Another futuristic, reminiscent video or book writing. All those are applicable in this situation, I believe. And people need to take heed. If you need an example to show somebody, just show them the parallels between those two. But another thought I was trying to put into a video earlier was, how do we get from where we are now to 1984? It's so hard to comprehend how Americans in particular can be led like lemmings into this I guess train of thought or society where the groupthink and all the controlled thought goes in place. But we're seeing it implemented. We're seeing the internet censorship. You're seeing the one, SJW, only one train of thought is allowed, censorship stuff go on. We are seeing these things, but yet we have a lot of independent-minded people that are seeing it and calling it out here. That we're out here and we're calling it out, and we're a small minority, I guess you'd say. But I think it goes back to the agenda. We're going to be eliminated. Be ready. You're not going to get to where they want to go with us still existing. We're not going to have a minority resisting over here all this implementation of all this groupthink and controlled economies and everything else with people, like-minded people that we see here on YouTube existing. You've got the red flag confiscation orders as a part of this implementation, potentially. A part of not only silencing those people, but outright killing people. You would say it's going to happen. It's the only way they can get there is by elimination of the people that think like us. They're not. You're not going to totally breed them out. Might be a bad way to say it, but it's, for lack of a better word, getting bred out of the situation. Independent thought. free thinkers, free-minded people, people that want to be free, people that don't want to be comfortable in their environment and want to go out and take risk, whether it's business like or otherwise, is going to go on, and they're going to come after us. And I say us, all of us, pretty much anybody that's watching this at some point is going to be included on this, whether you think you're a part of that ruffian crew or not. You're free thought enough to even search or watch this video. It's probably enough to get you categorized and put off to the side for a further re-education or elimination, as you could describe it. So that's what we're facing. So how many decades do we have till this goes down, right? That's all, hypothesis you could get into. You can hypothesize all you want, but you don't know. We don't know the answer to that. So the only answer is we either slowly burn this thing to the ground, or we have a quick collapse of some sort for us to. Then we could survive that. That's why you prep it to begin with. But know that somebody is working against you. These recounts, right? These recounts that we have in Florida, Arizona, Georgia, who knows how many other places these things are happening. Elections being manipulated and stolen outright in everybody's face. Maybe they've been doing this all along. This is just them coming out in the open and saying, stop us, because they know nobody will. But there's no good guy. There's no DA. There's no state police. There's no local law enforcement type that is going in and arresting anybody for obvious violations. There's nobody putting them in check. What's funny about Florida is there was nobody in place to really view and regulate these elections as they went. Like, who was poll watching? Why was there nobody there watching this stuff go on, validating anything? In a few cases, I guess there was small anecdotal evidence, but it should have been widespread, especially in Florida. Everybody knows the shenanigans that go on, But that just shows how much of Americans have given up on elections in general. They don't care enough, which is going to lead to a further decline in society and the slow burn. The less people care, the more it's going to decline as well. So all those social factors and everything else is going to combine to continue that slow burn. So with my monologue, I'm going to check in on the comments here. I'm going to turn this around to give you guys a view, because you guys don't want to look at me. I'm going to read your guys' comments and go on here. Let me back up here and see what we got. We got some people checking in. Dad on YouTube, hey, you're back again. This is a double dipper for you. You're here this morning too. Old Bag, how you doing? We're doing good. Saints and Sappers is with us. Insight Freedom. Yeah, our weather here is clear for sure. No, not a much of rain like back east. Redman Prospecting, good afternoon. Saints and Sappers, wishful thinking. Tommy Boy 9, a good afternoon. Down on YouTube says, one generation I did not get to know the freedom my grandpa did. My children not get to know the freedom I did. Yeah, true story. How many more generations till it's totally lost? Or, really, you can't even compare it to your kids, because you can pass down to your kids some of the issues, but as a generation, those people that age as a whole are missing out greatly, and they don't even care. M. Long is here. Hey, what's going on? You stuck in an ice storm. Nice. Redman Prospecting says you can't stop savages. It'll be like Vietnam all over again. You mean in the internal scope of the conflict, the way it'll be different sides, or what? I'm not sure the comparison to Vietnam, because I don't think we're not going to have two competing governmental groups going at each other. I don't think it's going to go down that way, if we even get to that point. Again, I think we're going to end up with a 1984 totally controlled society. There's not enough rebellious people left. There's not enough good people left to put the government in check that are in positions of authority. Otherwise, we would see evidence of it in all these various electioneering places. Yeah, it's pretty nice out here, old bag. It's nice. It's been cool. It's been winter weather, but it's cold, but it's nice. Redmond says it'll be a massacre on them if they don't have the balls to execute. You're seeing those that don't have, not willing to do what's necessary to protect themselves, type of thing. Old Bag says he thinks they're going to have a civil war in England one way or the other. I don't know, Old Bag. I think you're in a lot of, I mean, you're the origination of 1984. I think you're more likely to go into that than we are to any sort of conflict, civil war, unless the Irish start it. You do have the issues with Brexit, though, where the people have spoken, and the government is obviously dragging its feet and trying to prevent Brexit in all cases. So, Old Bag, you do have that. It'll be really telling to see how things work out if Brexit, the day comes and nothing really happens, and then see how your people react. That'll be a good tell sign of how much resistance you really do have there, because the people have spoken on that. Alicia, how you doing? Good afternoon. What is happening? I was rambling on at the beginning about a video I was wanting to make, so I just did it on a live chat instead because my audio got ruined. So I threw it on here and opened it up for a lunchtime chat. Yeah, Dad, that red flag stories out of Maryland, killing the guy right up front. I mean, and that's what you're going to have. You're going to get picked off individually. It's too hard to organize in the current environment, I guess you would say. It is very much a monitored environment where if you don't already have something established, you're going to get, you're already known, and they just pick you off one by one in a slow process. And that's what I'm talking about too, of we're going to be eliminated over time through various things like that, whether it's the color of law doing it, by incarceration or otherwise, or selecting you out of the economy through the digital currencies and through the RFID chip implants and stuff like that. You get selectively removed from the economy. You're no longer able to prosper, and pretty much you deteriorate that way. It can happen in a number of different ways. But they don't get their brave new world without removing those types of people from the populace. So that's what we got to be aware is coming. If you're not already, most people are somewhat aware, but I think a bigger point of this is the people who had hope that there was some right way to turn this ship around. It's not happening. And that's really, I was glad to see ACAS's and Backcountry Preps videos talking about that, because the Republican Party will not save you, as so many people have put their faith in, or the Trumpster for that matter. You're good, Alicia. You've probably heard it all before, but you can rewind if you want. Oh, Dad points out it took them 36 days from when the law was passed till they killed the first guy. And if what I'm correct, I mean, it's hard to know what's true, but from what I saw, some commentary or something shared where it was just an accusation by a family member. It wasn't even legit accusation that he got killed over, which is the biggest problem with most of those red flag laws. Is completely word of mouth and there's no evidence needed. It's just based upon somebody's opinion and their feelings, really, is what gets down to it. Their feelings were hurt, so they don't think you should have a firearm. And it's gonna, yeah, it's only the first of many, probably. Alicia says it's always darkest before the dawn. They have to push us hard enough before we act. I don't think there's enough people to act. What's there to act on, Alicia? You know, where do you lash out? Where do you act against? There's not enough people to pull that off, I don't think. So that's kind of what the beginning of the video was about too. We're in this slow burn. There's no coming out of it. So just know your path that you're going to walk is going to be that we're going to walk. It's all be most of us together is going to be less than comfortable at some point in the near future. You look what they're doing. If they're doing stealing elections in broad daylight with no repercussions, they're just going to get more and more bold in everything they do. Whether that's indoctrinating your kids that they must accept all self-identifying males as females and everything else, or that they have to identify themselves as male and female. How far will they go? They'll keep pushing that boundary, and that's really, you have to exclude yourself from the system, but then that system's going to grind you down and eliminate you eventually. The more you try to resist that type of stuff. Tommy boy, start by pulling back your charging handle. It should already be loaded, Tommy boy. You shouldn't even have to pull that back. That should be a given. Maybe hitting your selector level might be a better way to say it. Don't select at the ballot box, select on your selector lever. But yeah, it looks very like very dire times, very dark days. I don't see as much hope as people put into what are we on, President 45, 46? What's this guy's number? As much faith as everybody put in the Trumpster and everything, nothing got accomplished, nothing got pushed, except for a small tax abatement, which expires. And we're going to be barreling down that continued road with very little resistance. Hey, Billy Bird Outdoors is here. How you doing? Good afternoon. Yeah, there you go. Tommy Boy brings up. You want to know how bad this country is going to be going down the road? Maxine Waters is going to be in charge of the finance committee in the House. One of those financial committees. Maxine Waters. The only person, well, she's the only person dumber than this Cortez or Orozco, whatever her socialist name was, from New York. She's the only one dumber than she is. But yeah, there she is. She's going to be on the House Finance Committee running the show as the chairwoman. And it's like, are you kidding me? That's how bad off things are. You can't get much worse. When you talk about who's running the show and who's putting in all the effort and everything. Hey, Bug Out Buggers checked in. What's going on? I gave you the means, but you wrote me off. What is this you speak of? We having focus problems here. The deal is. Diane Abbott, I'm not sure who that is. Old bag. I'm trying to eat Billy Bird, but I don't want you to watch. Hey, weirdo. I don't know about that. I don't know if anybody likes to watch anybody else eat. But I wanted to check in and get that off my chest at the beginning there. Bug up to an end. I'm not sure what you mean, Bug Out Bubba. Or a new start. Well, there's potential for a new start, Bug Out Bubba, but I don't think we're going to get there. Like I was saying in my initial monologue, I think we're going to go down the 1984 Brave New World Animal Farm route, and I don't know if we'll be around to see the other side. Some of our prodigy might, but I don't know that we will. I just don't think there's enough time, if you will. So I don't know what that means. Take it for what it's worth, but that's just my perspective when you see all the things going on around us. Because our system is definitely programmed against us, that's for sure. And it's only getting worse. And like I say in the description box down, there's like, prove me wrong. Like, how is this not going to continue down? You know? How is this not going to continue down these problems that we're having are not going to reverse themselves? How is it going to reverse itself? I don't see it. Yeah, old bag says we need to turn the people. Most of them are still asleep. Yeah, we can still communicate with people and try to talk to them. Your rewards, your fruit from that labor is going to be minimal, though. I think it's a worthy project, and I think that's something we should do, but it's going to be pennies on the dollar in comparison to what we're up against, if you know what I'm saying. Tommy Boy says Trump has 6 weeks to lock people up or it's game over. Yeah, Red Man, go check out any of these channels on here. Everybody's got something going on. 6 weeks or game over. Yeah, it's a good tagline, lock them up, but did he ever really mean it? That's the thing that people I need to come to terms with. Billy Baird says, smash that like button. As you exit, please. Your subs are likely on the radar, right, Bubba? Yeah, well, all networks are mapped, and when I say mapped, they're put out there and everybody's mapped together who your social network connections are. It's just a matter of when they get down to your name as they go down that list, I guess. It's probably too late to realize we shouldn't have done it to begin with, but here we are, so I guess we'll deal with it. Old Bag says Tommy Robbins got the British Army on board. On board with what, Old Bag? On board with the, I mean, his big thing was the grooming gang thing. What was his, what else did he have going on? Yeah, Redmond prospecting. How do we hold social engineering politicians accountable when the elections are just pretty much robbed, no matter what people try to do? How do you hold them accountable when we don't pay them, we don't control their pay, we don't control anything about them? When they removed all this power from the states, the people lost power. That was the whole problem with War of Northern Aggression. Eliminated all the power and control we had over politicians, or at least it started that process, and led us to where we are today. The people have come to the point to where they beg DC for handouts instead of telling them how they're supposed to act and what they're supposed to do. Instead, we get told how we're supposed to act and what we're supposed to do. It's all bass backwards, literally. So it's hard to hold them accountable because it takes a mass of people to do that, or a well-in-placed principle and societal norms have gotten to the point to where that's not even the societal norm anymore, that politicians are held accountable. People don't understand what that means anymore. Well, Redmond, that's what these red flag orders are for people like that. They're not going to allow gun-bearing Republicans in office anymore. There was a CO bag. Okay. Saints and Sappers says tonight, special live People's Tavern with special guest Tactical Tony. Is that right? You already got it lined up, Saints? This might be a good advertising opportunity. Get the word out. Spread the word. Tonight only. Special engagement. We'll be on the lookout, Saints. I assume you're going to be on the panel as well, Saints? Tommy Boy wants to know what time Eastern. Yeah, Tommy, you probably figure it's probably going to be about 9 your time, if not later. You know how that works with Tony, especially. He's out my way, so. We will be ready, Saints. Just let us know. So Tommy Boy, be on standby. We'll share it on the G+. Make sure you're paying attention over there. Oh, he said he had tonight. What, did Tony do a chat earlier or something? He said he had tonight off. You got a personal direct line to Tony? Right on. Okay. I'm out of the know, I guess. Redmond, I think you're giving people way too much credit. But we shall see in the end, I guess. Oh, he made a video earlier. Okay, I'll be out to look at, see what Tony did earlier. Billy Bird's found me out. I'm eating French fries. Keen sleuth there. Got me worried now. What else does she hear? All right, folks, I just want to put those thoughts out there. I'm wrapping up here on the lunch side. But thanks for checking in. Thanks for the conversation. Thanks for the comments. As Billy Bird says, hit that like button on the way out. We'll talk at you later. Drop on over to the People's Tavern chats. Looks like we got something going on tonight. So definitely come check that out. If you don't know so People's Tavern Chat, yeah, you can search it on YouTube if you're not already familiar, or on the G Plus, and come over and check that out. See what Tony and Saints and everybody's putting together tonight, and we'll see see if they're on the collapsitarian train. Well, I'm pretty sure Tony is, but anybody else chimes in, see if we get any Trumpsters in there to try to talk us off the edge. So we'll see you later, folks. Live free.